which is the time for the LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter live. So this is the opportunity where this is the chance where I get the opportunity to actually interact, or get to speak with you directly live. I know I get your chats and everything on social media, but it's a bit different when you interact with people straight away. So feel free to introduce yourself, say where you're from, and I'll be able to see that comments straight away, and I'll be able to say hello. And it's good to see who's watching. Um, so, in today's session, I thought about a lot about today's session. I've been working in data strategy and analytics, scaling it for ages now, whether in the industry or for a while. So, whether in the industry or academia, I've also done it for non for profit, supported a lot of non for profit organizations. Um, and I've learned a lot. One of the things that I've really learned was how important it is to treat it as a change management project. So I'll just share with you some of those aspects, and please do comment and share your thoughts, your experience. I hope now that I am actually live and you can watch me on the three platforms, because I think this is like the fourth time I've tried doing that. Um, so hopefully you can watch me now, and also send me the texts. So send me the chat. So, let me speak a bit more about what I mean by change management in data strategy and analytics. A lot of the time, when projects are set or when the teams are doing data strategy and analytics, they focus on the technical aspects of it. And don't get me wrong, this is really important. You know, what technology you're going to use, what tools, the coding, if you're doing some coding or visualization, or this is really important. But what is also important is our the communication and the other aspects of the projects. And I'll focus today on three main aspects. That doesn't mean that they are the only three things, but I believe those are one of the most important things on a long list. So I'll focus on stakeholders, and I'll share a bit about projects and the challenges that you may face when doing data strategy and analytics. And the last bit is I'll be focusing or sharing some thoughts about how to coordinate or work with your suppliers or partners, really, or that's how I would like to call them. So again, as I was saying, data strategy and analytics and scaling it is a very important change management. Your stakeholders are key to the success of what you're doing. And a lot of the time when we are doing data strategy and doing analytics projects, our stakeholders, they don't actually know much about what we do. And rightly, it's not their job. So if you're working with finance, you're working with engineering, you're working with logistics, supply chain, they can understand. But really, we are the ones doing the analytics, so we should know it best. Similarly, if I'm asking a finance or a supply chain question, then that person would know it better than me, or marketing. They are the experts. So when we're doing analytics and we're scaling it across the organization and doing this introduction and getting our stakeholders on board, we need to identify who the right stakeholders are, know who they are, understand where they sit in the organization, and understand those stakeholders at different levels, because at different projects, you would need to speak to different people and get different insights. You would also need to communicate a bit more, because it can be very confusing. It can be very overwhelming for people. So it is really important that you communicate what you're doing. You communicate it in different ways because people understand in different ways. Um, Even communicate it in different methods because we learn differently. Write email, have meetings, record things. We learn differently, and you need to realize that people will interact differently as well. So we said identify stakeholders, communicate, remind them, and remind them again, because you have a timeline, you have the way the project is working, and they are not technical people. You are the technical person doing the project or doing the data strategy or working on governance or whatever it is with the data that you're doing. You are the expert, so you need always to remind them again and again, and put yourself in in their shoes. Because if I'm working on a project with engineering, I have limited experience in certain areas of engineering or understanding. And that's the bit where I'd need people to remind me again and again. And a lot of the time, even at work or when I'm doing a project for a non for profit or volunteering, I'd say, oh, can you please remind me? Because we forget, we're human. So always remember to remind the people you're working with and your stakeholders. Also, be very transparent. If you have a challenge, just let them know. Let them know beforehand. Work on it with them. Let them be part of this project and celebrate those small successes because, as I said, data strategy and analytics projects is quite a change management and it is overwhelming. So those small successes and the things that you say, so you know what, we've done this and that. As much as you're sharing the challenges, share the things that go right. So I don't know. It's like feel free to again chat, send me your chats, text on YouTube, LinkedIn, and on Twitter. I'm live on the three platforms, and I'd love to hear your experience with actually having data strategy and analytics, and rolling it out across organizations. So, as I said, the first bit is the stakeholder management when you're looking at change management. The second is identifying opportunities. Because it's a change management project and or data strategy and change management is quite new. And I got asked this question a lot on social media, and I think I'd have to do a separate video on it, which is when you're rolling analytics across organizations, you really need to measure it. You need to know what projects that are available, how to prioritize. There are so many different ways of prioritization. You need to use also how to calculate impact. Are you saving hours? Are you saving? Is it giving you better opportunity to actually measure certain things? So visualization or not visualize, but yeah, KPIs and what is this project for? What is the impact on the business? Is it saving costs? Is it improving revenues, saving time? So this is really important. Identify the projects across the whole and work together. And I used to do something, and I still do it, especially when I'm volunteering with non-for-profit, which is problem structuring, which is definitely worth another video. But yeah, to actually know what is your problem, structure it, get the stakeholders, and understand, ask the right questions to be able to measure your projects. The third thing that is really important again in change management when it comes to data strategy and analytics is you're working closely with your suppliers. And I always call suppliers or my suppliers my partners. They will be able to identify opportunities, tell me what's the latest in the market, work together on projects because I can be pilot for some of the technology that is still being built. I'll be happy to be a partner for them, but equally they'd be happy to have you know my experience when actually doing this piloting because things will go wrong. I'm happy for it to go wrong, but equally they'll be updating it straight away. So it's having this first user experience, and I've done that with few companies. It is amazing because you see the product as a baby and you just see it grow and you see, like, oh, but this is not working. Can we improve this? And can we do that? So it's quite a big thing. So if I say that, yes, data strategy and analytics is definitely a change management in disguise. And I'll link an article that I've written in the Institute of Management Accountants on this topic. But definitely it is a change management in disguise. There's so many aspects to it. The three main aspects that I would say focus on, straight away your stakeholders, focus on your projects, get the right measurements and prioritization in place. And the third is really work very closely with your partners to be able to achieve the best. So, um, it's a very short video. As I said, I like to do those videos very short so that you can easily watch them. But equally, please let me know your feedback. What else would you like me to share? Yeah, hopefully, I'll see you soon in the next video. Thank you very much and have a lovely evening.